This is my best friend, Leia. Leia speaks 5 languages, cannot stop eating Haribo candy peaches, and has cystic fibrosis, which means that she was born with thick mucus trapped in her lungs and so is hyper-susceptible to bacteria that could limit her ability to breathe. It means she takes upwards of 20 digestive pills a day. It means she will go to the hospital every 3 months to test her lung function for the rest of her life. And it means, according to the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, that her life expectancy hovers around 37, on average, for most people. But Leia isn't really most people. She doesn't talk about cystic fibrosis. She refuses to take antibiotics. She almost never does her breathing treatments. Leia smokes, but she's fine. She's more than fine, actually. She's more alive than anyone I've ever met. Leia falls in love every 3 months, loses her phone every 2 weeks, and works out doing flying trapeze. For my 21st birthday, Leia handed me a cake with 21 joints on it. For my 22nd birthday, Leia made me jump off a bridge. And at 23, as we graduated, she convinced me to take a trip. One she promised would change my life. In 3 months, we traveled through an indigenous village in rural Jalisco, a hippie beach town on the Mexican coast, the Peruvian Amazon, and the Atacama Desert in Chile. Leia was sure that in Latin America, there was another way to heal herself, and she was ready to find it. And as always, I was coming with her. The summer after we graduated from college, Leia tested positive for a dangerous bacteria in her lungs, Pseudomonas. 5 years before, according to Leia, a woman in Mexico City had cured her of the same bacteria using magnets. The only biomagnetist in California, according to Yelp, was in a strip mall in Upland.
Hi.
Hi.
Magnets are so cheap, and they've been around forever. And it's just a shame that people don't know all the things that we can do with magnets.
Do you know what cystic fibrosis is?
Yes.
Right, so I have cystic fibrosis.
Okay.
One of the main dangers of the sickness is that you can catch bad bacteria that normal people would eradicate.
These are my most powerful magnets.
Okay.
We don't want to waste too much time looking for the spot, right?
Right, so no, it's for sure in the lungs.
With basic detox, we do lungs, kidney, pancreas, bladder, ascending and descending colon.
And the basic detox that addresses the Pseudomonas?
Trust me, once your body returns to a pH balance, it won't tolerate any toxins. We're going to give this until 4, which gives us more than a half hour.
Okay, thank you.
Do you think this is really going to work? I mean, I don't know, you know? We flew to Mexico City, and so we get there, and this woman does this. But now, like, this is, like, my life. And then she just says, like, it's gone. I was like, are you sure? It's like, yeah, no, I checked. It's gone. Like, there's no more of it, you know? And then my mom, you know, you're just like, yeah, we, like, walked out and then came back to LA and then did the test, and then it was gone, you know? And, like, maybe it's the antibiotics, but for me, it was just such a... It was just crazy, you know? And no one knows about this. And, like, in moments where you're, like, close to death or, like, something so important that you're down to just, like, throw away all your beliefs. There are things that are crazy that happen if you're open to it. But I have no idea if this is true, though. Wow, I really do feel different.
You do, huh?
A few days later, Leia's test came back negative for Pseudomonas. And even though we couldn't prove it was the biomagnetism, It was all the evidence she needed. Leia felt like she had found an inexplicable alternative to antibiotics. And by her logic, if that was possible, then the world was full of inexplicable solutions. And she wanted to find one, or a few. So she made a plan for us. We would start in Mexico City and go south from there, going wherever and talking to whoever we needed. She was ready to try anything. Essential oils, plant medicines, shamanic ceremonies, horse therapy, and frog poison. It's just, did I really want frog poison? Life was easy for me in LA. I was born into an Iranian Jewish family with an elaborate web of aunts, uncles, grandparents, sisters, and cousins in LA who were all quite sure that I did not need to go off to South America hunting a cure for an incurable disease I didn't even have. Actually, after hearing a brief outline of our plan, my mother yelled that I would get kidnapped somewhere in Mexico, and then she would get my fingers in the mail demanding ransom money.
She was 15 months. I have a very bad memory in general, but that moment is stuck in my mind for forever.
What were you thinking was going to happen to her?
I was thinking that she...
Moi, je peux
Quoi?
pas parler de ça maintenant.
Okay.
Okay, I was thinking...
Vas-y, fais-le.
Non, après tu viens, parce que j'ai pas...
Ouais, mais je sais pas parler de ça maintenant.
I mean, we were expecting to see her with more issues, you know. But she's Leia, and she... Something I can't really explain.
Especially because it seems like, I mean, she doesn't do her treatments so well
I know.
right now.
I know, she doesn't do it well at all. I think she's going a little too far.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because you think, like, in what way?
I think she's taking too much risk. Sometimes I think like she lives, she acts like if she wasn't sick.
That summer, when it was time for Leia's checkup in Brussels, I went with her.
Ah, voilà. Ça a bougé. Ok.
Est-ce que tu fumes?
Parfois, mais très très rarement.
Pas réputé bon du tout pour l'alcool. Sur la dernière année, tu dirais que tes symptômes respiratoires sont restés pareils.
Ouais, j'ai un peu toussé.
Tu as pris des antibiotiques ou pas?
J'ai hésité. Je me suis dit que j'allais vous voir bientôt, du coup, je me suis dit...
Tu aurais dû prendre des antibiotiques. Hein. La dernière fois, je m'étais dit, j'essaye de lui demander de garder 5 à 10 minutes matin et soir pour les antibiotiques. Tu le fais pas et je pense que tu vas quand même très bien, ça c'est la vérité, mais en tout cas, ce qui est vrai, c'est que si à un moment ça va moins bien, tu vas mettre du temps à t'en rendre compte.
Mais de pas prendre les antibiotiques, c'est pas vraiment pas une question de temps, c'est une question de... Voilà,
Tu as peur des antibiotiques?
Oui, j'aime pas, parce que enfin, même l'idée que ça tue des bactéries, et que ça tue des choses bonnes aussi. Genre voilà, s'il y a un problème, vous prenez des antibiotiques pendant un mois, y a pas... mais tout le temps, je sais pas,
Okay.
C'est peut-être bête, mais j'arrive pas, genre je peux pas.
Non, je ne dis pas que c'est bête, ça va mieux que beaucoup d'autres avec ces mutations-là. Ce ne sera pas éternel, mais enfin, rien n'est éternel.
Non, c'est ça.
J'aurais peut-être
Ouais.
beaucoup d'ennuis bien avant toi. Donc
Ouais.
je crois que ça, on ne sait pas. Mais tu prends en tout cas ce risque. Si on attend une toux chronique, on est toujours pris de court.
Dr. Lebec warned me about the trip. Leia could lose her pills. She could contract another bacteria. He said cystic fibrosis is vicious. Even if she's fine now, she could suddenly get really sick somewhere remote, and there wouldn't be a hospital for me to take her to. That's the whole thing? You have to keep it's a full...
Only the right finger moves. The left one always stays here.
Mm-hmm.
And then you turn it, and you like it. And you sit back. And when you blow, you just put your head a little bit. I mean, you know that, but like your chin is up a little bit, like, you know, this is normal. Your chin is like right there, you know, just so you look a little bit superior.
Yeah.
So
And you kind of hold
normal.
the cigarette like you're bored with it?
You're bored, yeah, exactly. You're bored and you I know you so well, it's so funny.
You do?
You too.
The next day, Leia's aunt told us a rumor about a guy from Brussels with cystic fibrosis whose family flew in shamans from Peru to help with his healing. Clearly, we needed to meet him, and after finding him on Facebook, Leia wrote him a message.
Hello Antoine, I'm Léa. I also have cystic fibrosis. I would love to meet you to talk about a project on which I'm working right now. So if you have some time this week or the next, let's go eat or get a drink. I hope see you soon. He hasn't read it.
Well, it's been about
Should I send
5 minutes.
a question mark?
So why are you afraid to meet him?
I mean, I just think if someone did that to me, I might think it's weird. Would be like, hi, I also have cystic fibrosis. Do you want to meet up and like talk about it? You know, I find it a bit weird. But maybe it'll be fun.
Leia's doctor warned us. Cystic fibrosis patients are not supposed to meet. The risk of bacterial exchange is too high. But sometimes, there really is no stopping Leia. So you guys are just not gonna...
No, welcome to my...
No, thank you so much. So, you mind if I'm filming this?
Sure, yeah. Quand t'annonces un truc négatif, tu réagis comment à l'hôpital?
En général, je dis ok, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? Et on fait. Tu vois, genre Toi
Je dis cool.
Tu dis quoi?
Je dis cool, ouais, cool. Mais après bon, bah, maintenant, ça fait quelques années que j'ai dit cool et que j'ai des greffes et que j'ai des problèmes et qu'on m'a annoncé des mauvaises nouvelles. Et j'ai toujours dit cool. Quand j'ai fait mon rejet de la deuxième greffe, je perdais 10% de volume de capacité respiratoire par semaine. Et le médecin dit, bah écoute, à ces rythmes-là, bah, dans 2 semaines, voilà quoi. Dit écoute, voilà, donc on espère trouver des poumons à temps, tout. Et moi je dis, ouais, cool. Ok. Quand t'as pas le choix, t'as pas le choix. Tu acceptes la chose, tu le fais. Soit tu refuses, tu te plains, et puis quoi, bah, tu crèveras plus vite.
After meeting him, we went back to see Antoine a few times that week. Eventually, he told us about the shamans, about ayahuasca, this psychedelic plant from the Amazon jungle that, supposedly, had the power to heal illnesses seen and unseen.
So I had this fear of death I need to get rid of.
Ouais.
And so I tried this ayahuasca thing. It was such a miracle. I had this feeling of serenity, like peace and calmness.
In like 5.
You're not ready to talk about it yet? Okay. I'll wait 5 minutes. Antoine affected Leia in a way I hadn't seen anyone affect her before. He humbled her. And I knew, as soon as he mentioned it, that Leia would find a way to try ayahuasca. The night we arrived in Mexico City, we met a shaman in a taco restaurant. A friend of a friend, Michelle, had been a DJ and a marketing executive before she dropped everything to become a healer. Now, she travels around Mexico, learning about different traditions and leading healing ceremonies. The next morning, she came to talk to us in the apartment.
I've seen complete transformations where people have had breathing problems, heart problems, diabetes, sclerosis multiple, all types of conditions.
I have a hard time believing that I can pray myself out of this condition or intention, although I'm super obviously attracted to the idea,
Well, I tell people, don't believe everything I say. It's something that you just feel, that you're doing the right thing, no matter what. And those are the challenges that our families, a lot of times I say that our families are our greatest teachers because they're going to try to do everything so we stay the same and we don't evolve, And so we're here to break off, that system and that pattern. And if we listen to them, I'm sure it's making sense. A lot, because they're always telling us, you need to do this and this and this and this. But who says how things should be?
So let's say we did want to come see you. You think we could?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Sure. No, that would be really nice.
Around midday, Arturo, a shaman in training, arrived with his coordinator, who had a different kind of plan for us.
Maravilla, vete con cuidado. Hablamos. ¿Qué ceremonia hubiera querido hacer primero? Hubiera preferido el jicuri.
El peyote, okay.
Súper amoroso, puro amor. Te quita todo lo que no necesitas y te acerca a lo que realmente necesitas. Entonces you have a trip inside your body and outside your body with the Mother Earth, and you become part of everything.
Okay.
Amazing.
If you allow me, I can take you to heal yourself. Yeah. Yes. I can bet you as much money if you want.
It's genetic though.
But you will heal. You will be fine. You will be fine.
Right. So you were saying you would go and say the sickness is over?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's interesting.
No, I give my word to you that si me haces caso, te voy a llevar con los mejores maestros del mundo. I'm working with this Maracame. In his town, in his community, in the Wix&aacute people, the Huichol people, we have these 3 important events during the year. And one of those events is going to be this weekend. It's la Fiesta del Maíz. Si ustedes quieren, if you want, if you can, if you...
We can.
Yeah, we have a VIP.
So that is just there's no ceremonies there?
Yes, there will be ceremonies the whole weekend.
If you...
A mí mañana.
O sea, mañana, si ella irnos mañana pasado.
Porque yo te hubiera conseguido una...
Tienes que llegar ahí y de ahí a huevo tienes que agarrar para la sierra.
You ready?
Western medicine has no cure to cystic fibrosis. The illness is genetic. It would take a rewriting of Leia's DNA to actually get rid of the sickness rather than just address its symptoms. But Arturo told us he was learning an ancient indigenous spiritual tradition from a shaman in a village called San Andres Cojamiata, 2 days' drive from Mexico City. He promised that the elder of the village could cure Leia in a sacred ceremony around a fire involving peyote, a psychedelic cactus.
They say that when you eat peyote and you are in the ceremony, you can see the blue deer in the fire. You shit on your pants when you see that. You shit on yourself when you see that. Really. And don't be scared. I mean,
No.
No.
I don't take it lightly,
Yeah.
I think it's
No,
I'm not against,
I'm sorry if I may give you the impression that I am very
No.
come and I will. Maybe it's because really I am like that.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And okay, I'm going to tell you as the way as it's going to be.
Okay.
I can assure you and I can bet you that ceremony, those hours, that moment in your life will be probably the best moment of your life.
Here we go. Good night, Phil.
¿Te molesta si te filmamos para un documental? ¿Hacemos eso, no? ¿No te preocupa?
Okay. 2 days, 3 cars, and 600 miles later, past legitimate narcos and miles of cornfields, we were in San Andrés Cohamiata. The Huichols, or Huiratica, are an indigenous people that survived Spanish conquest and now preserve their culture in the mountains of Jalisco, where they speak their own language, grow their own food, and practice their own religion. Traditionally, the Huichols are the guardians of peyote, or hickory. They use the cactus for everything, from scrapes and bruises to connecting with their gods through the fire. Peyote is actually one of their gods, alongside corn and the blue deer. When we arrived, we met Julian, Arturo's Maracame, a shaman of the village, and he presented us and the camera to the village and asked if we could film. The next day, at the annual corn celebration, Leia would be presented to the village elder to be cured. The next morning, we woke up to discover that Arturo had already gone to the party.
Do you think we're gonna get there and Arturo's gonna be like super fucked up?
Sort of, yeah.
I don't know what happened. Probably like some dose of bug.
The thing about spiritual healing is there's no schedule of events. We weren't sure what time we were meeting the healer, where to go, or who to talk to about it. As we wandered around, we met Toto and Chris, friends of Julian's who were from a beach town 4 hours west and had been visiting San Andrés for years, learning the Huichol traditions. They offered to show us the views outside the village before the celebration, and we very gratefully followed them.
O sea, la cultura wixárika me despertó. El sistema nos pone muchas prioridades que son pues muy materiales, muy banales y nos olvidamos del espíritu. Y el espíritu pues es lo más importante porque el espíritu ha estado en muchos lugares y nos puede guiar de una manera mucho más sensata y desde el corazón que otras cosas más materiales.
Without realizing it, we had spent over 2 hours at the waterfall. And when we got back to the village, Toto and Chris led us to the party. There, we found Arturo again, who found Julian, who told us that they had been looking for us. We were late. The elder had left. He was old and tired, and so he had gone to bed. Leia would not be healed with peyote or anything else. Not in San Andres. Honestly, at the time, Leia didn't seem fazed. So neither was I. Instead, we watched the families, played with the kids, and ate homemade blue corn tortillas. At one point, a little bit drunk on fermented corn drink, Julian suggested I find a huichol husband. That night, we gathered around the fire and tried to see the blue deer in the flames. In the morning, we said goodbye, we said thank you. Toto and Chris invited us to visit them at the beach one day, and we made our way back through the mountains to Mexico City. We left never knowing if the huichols could heal Leia, but we understood that entering the world of the huichols was not as simple as Arturo had made it out to be. Healing, it seems, demands commitment. Toto and Chris had spent 9 years walking the path of the huichol religion and still felt like newcomers. They said they would never fully understand the tradition or its healing, simply because they were not huichol. On the way back, Leia was very quiet.
I feel lost and I don't know what I think or like what I'm supposed to think, or like I'm scared and like confused by like even what I'm doing, you know, like what we're doing. Like I know it all in my head, but I'm like I don't know. Silence scares the shit out of me. Silence and like nothingness and not like lack of action, you know.
A few days later, we met Lourdes, the original biomagnetist, who had cured Leia 5 years ago, introduced her to alternative medicine, and was a major part of the reason we were in Mexico.
Para mí, como la idea que el biomagnetismo de verdad funciona, todavía no lo puedo, pues lo creo porque estoy aquí, pero es loco.
En eso me acuerdo que un doctor homeópata me fue a ver hace unos años y me dijo, yo no te voy a decir qué tengo, tú me vas a decir a mí.
Para testar, ¿sabes?
Ah, para testar, exacto. Entonces, lo empiezo yo con las piernas, pero a los 2 minutos le digo, tienes herpes. Se quedó, no lo podía creer. Y entonces le hice la terapia y me dice, Lourdes, pero imanes. Le digo, imanes. Le digo, sí, le digo, los imanes son los reyes para
los virus. Y bacteria también.
Virus, bacterias, hongos y parásitos. Sí.
Por ejemplo, como si alguien tenía como SIDA. No, AIDS no, pero antes, el virus de... Porque cuando tienes AIDS ya se ha convertido.
Sí, he tenido gente con AIDS. ¿Sí?
Con AIDS. Y se lo quitar. Todos.
Sí.
She said that every patient with AIDS that has come here, she cured them.
¿Cómo? Sí, sí. Yo pido permiso, si me da permiso, ¿no? De rastrearte. Me dice que sí. ¿Hay alguna pseudomona. Pseudomona, ¿no?
¿Hay pseudomona?
Pseudomona no.
No. Yo tenía pseudomona hace como 3 semanas.
A ver, déjame preguntar. ¿Tuviste una pseudomona? Y me dice que sí, tuviste. ¿Ahorita, en este momento, tienes una pseudomona? No, ya no. ¿Por qué? Pues porque puse los imanes. Márcame si hay algún virus, hongo, parásito, bacteria, patógeno. Pero puedo preguntar algo más, lo que tú quieras. No. Emocional. Armonía espiritual. Depresión. Desbloqueo emocional. Desbloqueo espiritual. Duda. Duda. Ah, es duda.
¿Qué es duda?
Duda. Doubt.
Ah.
¿De qué tienes duda? ¿No sabes?
No.
Ah, sí sabes. Sí sabes. Una alumna de...
The thing is, I was not convinced that it was magnets that had gotten rid of Leia's bacteria 5 years ago, or in California a few weeks ago. I wasn't even sure Leia really believed it. What did you think? Did you think that you didn't have these bacteria?
Did I what?
Like she said, you know, you didn't have them?
I think she like took them out with the
You think she took them out? So you do believe her?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I always did believe her. Yeah. I'm just tired, like I don't have like a very big analysis.
The rest of the way back to the apartment, Leia did not say one word. I figured she just needed space, so I left her alone.
Well, first, like, I think it's, like, super weird, so, like, I wanted to address that first. I mean, unless I'm the only one picking it up. And I've just been, like, feeling a bit weird and sad, and I just feel like you don't really care. Whenever I notice that you seem to be, like, in a different mood, or you seem to not be completely in it, like, I always try to come to you and to ask you, and I really fucking care. And yeah, there's times where I need help, you know, and it just hurts me when, like, you don't ask if you can help. Sometimes I'm like, do I really need to explain this, you know? Like, do I really need to explain to you, like, why it's hard for me, and, like, why I need support, and, like, why I'm having some freakouts sometimes. And I know when you mean the questions, and I know when you don't. And, like, something like yesterday, like, if you're asking me, like, how it was, and, like, if you see that I react weirdly, like, come to me, like, yo, like, what's wrong, you know? Like,
She was right. I just didn't know how to help her. Leia had never needed me like this before. This trip was forcing us to ask questions of ourselves and each other that maybe we didn't need to ask. And there were things I had never reckoned with and didn't want to. Leia was always pushing things, pushing me. And maybe I just wasn't equipped for this. The next day, we decided to leave Mexico City and visit Toto and Chris at the beach.
Are we?
We spent 4 days following Toto and Chris, going back and forth between the beach and Toto's chocolateria. Before settling in San Pancho, Chris had spent 10 years traveling through Mexico in a converted van, which is how he met Toto and ended up on the path of the Huichols. Actually, by extraordinary coincidence, Julian and his family were also visiting San Pancho the same time we were. Our last night with them, we asked Chris about his experiences with peyote.
Usually medicines, what they do is they open your heart and they accelerate process. So it's always like looking within and facing your fears or the things you have to face, and the medicine puts your fear in front of you because that's what you have to work on. So sometimes I feel that a lot of people are afraid of taking medicine because you don't want to face your demons or your fears, you know? But that's what the medicine tells you, it's face it, and when you face it, let go.
The next morning, somehow, there was Michelle, the shaman we had met on our first day. She told us we were ready to do a peyote ceremony with her. According to Michelle, peyote was a gentle spirit, a grandfather, she said, and he was good for everyone, and I should drink too.
Con el permiso de los guardianes, con el permiso del Gran Espíritu, con el permiso de la Madre Tierra. Pues me presento aquí, Gran Espíritu. En este espacio sagrado venimos a poder trabajar aquí con mis hermanas.
We spent the whole day preparing for the ceremony that would last till morning. We made an altar and we wrote letters to ourselves and our parents to give to the fire. The rituals felt foreign and a little forced to me. Part of me found it hard to take it all as seriously as Leia was suddenly taking it. But another part of me was bored of analyzing and rationalizing mysticism. I wanted to turn off my brain and for once just be there. It was harder than I thought.
Focus yourself on the fire. You can converse with the fire. Everything that you want to share, any questions. The fire is our teacher.
C'est étrange d'essayer de regarder en soi. J'ai peur qu'en me détachant des choses qui me définissent, je n'y trouve que du vide. Je veux aller voir au-delà, mais s'il n'y avait rien. J'ai peur de m'éloigner, d'avancer vers un endroit inconnu et de me retrouver perdue dans un désert, seule.
I want to release myself from feeling so distant and far away from what's happening. I want to be more present and more sincere.
As the sun rose, I felt different. Lighter? And I didn't know what happened to Leia, but she told me that the peyote ceremony had opened a door for her. It was clear that plant medicines held some kind of answers, and she decided it was time to go to Peru and find ayahuasca. Antoine, Arturo, Chris, and Michelle had all talked to us about ayahuasca, this plant that was supposed to confront you with your worst fears and wounds, strip you of your ego, and change you forever. And peyote had shown Leia that she was ready. I didn't understand how or why, but after the ceremony, I felt close to Leia again. Peru's Sacred Valley is 3,000 miles from Mexico City, 4,500 miles from LA, and we felt it.
You're nervous? You look a little nervous.
No, not at all.
Antoine had pointed us to Pisac, a town known as the alternative medicine capital of Peru.
Oh my god, I want them to play.
In our hostel, we stumbled on Harry and Philip.
You came to Peru especially for ayahuasca or just like as a trip in general?
It was just for ayahuasca.
Oh, okay, wow.
Made no plans for anything else.
Oh shit. And how long were you guys here for?
It was an 11-day retreat, 5 ceremonies.
First ceremony, I was like, oh, okay, this is really chilled. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy this, smoke some Mapacho cigarettes and just listen to the Icaros, you know, the songs, you just chill back. But if you get confident, you will turn up the heat. Don't come at her and think that, don't let your ego come in the way of what she's trying to tell you, because you'll get a backlash. You know?
Yeah, the purge was so violent. Like
You mean
it
like
was,
throwing up?
when I was throwing up, it was so violent that it was like the, you know, when you're throwing up and you can sort of feel it reaching into your stomach. Well, this was reaching like into my organs, into my throat, my head, my legs, my guts, just, and it was so like I was clenching so hard, just getting it all out, and it was like throwing up pure poison.
The second ceremony was difficult. I actually got brave and took 2 cups. And yeah, my mother and father died in a lot of pain and suffering from illness when I was young, and it was making me feel that, and I was just like tearing at my top, like just trying to make it stop, but really uncomfortable. So yeah, I had to experience that, but it really affected me physically. After the ceremony, I was blind for a day. It took me near enough a day to get my eyesight back, and then that stopped, and I just started to shake, my whole body was rocking, like, for 2 hours. And I was shaking all the trauma away. Like, I was shaking it out.
And so now, do you feel better?
I feel great. I feel great.
For you, before you came here, did you believe in it already? Like, or were you?
Yeah, I was spiritual. Yeah, but I
Okay.
had no idea about the power of. Yeah. Words can't. You know, it will transform. You will change in some way.
Okay.
But it's not something to be afraid of.
I have a genetic sickness that's called cystic fibrosis. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard because I don't really know, like, I don't really believe that it can cure me physically in any way.
There's nothing that she can't.
There's nothing she can do. Wow.
But I would say the most important thing about the whole process is. Oh, it's hell.
Oh wow. It's a healing.
Holy shit.
In Pisac, everyone seems to be on a healing journey of some kind. But it was hard to tell what was genuine and what was an act. What was real healing and what was a product to buy or an excuse to get high with strangers.
Before we left, I thought that I was here to like find out about plants that could cure me, and like, you know, in the beginning we met Arturo, who's like, oh, I'll cure you. And all my life, when people were talking about healing, it was always physical. It was always like, okay, like, did you do this treatment? Did you do that treatment? It's always just like mechanical and physical. I know that it has impacted me like psychologically and like maybe spiritually. I don't know like even what that means, but, and yeah, and to understand like what I really want and not like what I think is like I should want given circumstances, you know?
Everyone keeps asking about ayahuasca, like everyone from home. Like there's a way where all this stuff is like so commercialized and made so touristy, like it's super weird. And also then I don't know if I want to do it, like in general, which we've talked about, but like I'm afraid. I'm like really pretty deeply afraid.
Do you want me to tell you what I think?
Yeah. Tell me what you think.
The moments where like I see you happy, or moments where you follow your instinct. You know, and when you tell me like, oh yeah, like you changed me or whatever, like I don't really think so. I just think like you don't trust yourself enough that like your instinct is like good. I personally like saw a big change from like the past week, very honestly. Like if you don't feel like something's right, like don't do it. But not if it's someone else's fears though, you know? Oh, but if it's your actual own fears, then maybe you shouldn't do it. If you're like, oh, ayahuasca, like I feel like it's not right for me, then like don't do it. If you feel like, oh, my mom wouldn't like me to do it, then do it, you know? It's like...
Oh man, but it's hard to tell.
I know.
Oh man. I don't know.
To be sure. Muy comercial eso, y eso no queremos que sea una experiencia comercial, ¿sabes? Y entonces como es interesante para ver, pero creo que nos gustaríamos mejor hacerlo en un lugar que sea auténtico, ¿sabes? Ah. Okay. So basically, she gives me the name of these people that are in Pucallpa, which is the middle of the selva, like near Iquitos, and I'm like, oh, I mean, then, like, where, you know, they're in Pucallpa. She's like, yeah, and so I'm like, I mean, should we then just go to Pucallpa? And she's like, yeah. So she's like, tell them that you, like, that you did Hikuri with Michelle Botton because they know her, because they're, like, as real as her, like, as ancient as her. So I think, I mean, we should go in, like, 3 days. And she was like, you guys should stay a week.
Okay.
So that's what...
My mom's gonna have a panic attack.
Yeah. And so she's like, everyone that I've talked to who went there and did this one came back changed. It's like, okay, let's go. Oh, it's gonna be so scary. This is more like in Pucallpa is where it's from. Pucallpa is where, like, you know, the huicholes for hickory, like the ones for ayahuasca, they come from there.
Okay.
You know, here they don't come from here at all. You know.
Ay ay ay.
Mosquitoes in the jungle.
It says, okay, so it says that it's usually to address a physical illness, strengthen the immune system, specific organs, or to connect with the spirit of the plants. I wonder if they actually will claim that they can heal you.
She was saying we're alone in her hut for like most of the time, doing spiritual, mental, and other works.
Adianta offers a chance to deeply connect to the forest and its spirits and spend time alone with yourself and your fears. It can be used as a, quote, reset button on your life if you're willing to step outside your comfort zone and encounter the magic that lies outside of it. That's all fine, but can I do it without being alone? Do you think these people are good?
Yeah, it seems really what we need.
Somewhere along the line, I realized I was about to do ayahuasca. 6 times. In 10 days. And for once, it wasn't a calculated choice. It was just what was next. It was a step in a process I had started a long time ago. I had started by stepping foot in Peru, by picking up the camera, by choosing Leia. I had brought myself here. And of course, as soon as I realized this, I started freaking out.
من نمیدونم با بابات حرف بزن. The party's in Cardenas. Okay, 2 دقیقه صبر کن. Let me talk to Camille.
We're going to the jungle tomorrow.
What jungle?
We're doing like a 10-day retreat thing.
What is this? What is this?
It's like an ayahuasca thing.
Are you getting there?
We're flying there, and then they pick us up from the airport.
Flying. What was the name again?
Iquitos.
Iquitos. Okay.
10 days? This is a lot.
Yeah, it's a long time, I know.
So you're sure this place is safe?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's safe. It's like a known place. There's like a website. I'll send you it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be careful. Watch each other. Watch her. Watch yourself. Don't eat anything bad. Don't do anything weird. Be very careful.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
Okay, I love you.
Bye.
Bye, Dad.
La ayahuasca es una medicina de nuestra cultura que antiguamente hemos venido usando, ¿no? Cuando antiguamente era la medicina científica estaba muy lejos y tomaba ayahuasca, con eso se curaban, ¿no? Antiguamente los primeros hombres, mujeres shipibos. La ayahuasca no hay que tener miedo, porque la ayahuasca cura todo tipo de enfermedades en general, cura nuestro trauma psicológico, trauma de nuestro papá, de nuestra mamá, de nuestros hermanos, suicidios, traumas, cura nuestro cuerpo, nuestros órganos digestiones, nuestra cabeza, diabetes, sida, próstatas, migrañas, dolores de cuerpo, dolores de espalda, articulaciones, en general, ¿no? Las enfermedades en general. Solamente dos cosas nomás, sus enfermedades del mundo que existen las personas, son bloqueos y trauma psicológico, ¿no? Nada más. Solamente cuando tomas la ayahuasca hay que tener una sola idea, ¿no? Idea de tu intención. Ya, voy a ver mi cuerpo. Ya, quiero mirar mi cuerpo. Quiero mirar mi cuerpo. Quiero mirar mi estómago. Quiero mirar mi trauma. Así. Muchas personas dicen que la ayahuasca es una droga, pero no es droga. Es medicina, pura medicina. Muchas veces yo digo, ¿no? Si siendo droga ayahuasca, Ricardo estaría loco, Ricardo estaría traumado, Ricardo estaría, ya va a caer al suelo, ¿no? Va a enterrarse Ricardo, ¿no? Va a morir Ricardo, porque toma mucho ayahuasca, ¿no? No. Ricardo vive, Ricardo es fuerte. ¿No?
So wait, what are we doing right now? I didn't understand.
This is which we call the vomitivo.
The vomitivo, okay.
Yeah, the vomitive.
Oh,
so,
to throw up, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're meant to vomit right now.
Yes, that's the purpose
I'm
of it.
just checking.
Yeah, sometimes take 20 minutes.
If peyote is the spirit of the grandfather, then ayahuasca is the mother. Unconditionally loving and unforgivably demanding. Out of respect to her, you're asked to adhere to a strict dieta. Firstly, the vomitivo, to cleanse your body. Then, a strict diet of grilled whole fish, plantains, and quinoa. No sugar, no dairy, no meat, and no salt. And after that, a master plant, different for everyone and chosen for you by the shaman, alongside ayahuasca to help you through the process.
No sé si hay algo que se puede hacer con una enfermedad así. No hay cura, ¿sabes?
Limpiar la enfermedad que tiene, limpiar los bloqueos de emoción. ¿Cuánto tiempo está?
Yes, just 10
días. A ver, para que se pueda abrir. Ya, pion blanco.
¿Pion blanco?
Gracias.
Ya. Aquí te vamos a ayudar. 100%.
Gracias. Gracias. What's your experience like physically, emotionally, and spiritually?
I'm a lot more negative than I want to be. Like I find myself like always finding the dark side of the situation rather than the nice one, and I think that is like very linked to spiritually how I feel, which is afraid all the time.
El bloqueo de su fe, el bloqueo de su mente, su pion blanco también. A ella le vamos a cambiar. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Léa.
A ti te vamos a cambiar planta porque tú estás un poco grave, ¿ya?
Okay.
Ella va a ser pion blanco, ¿ya? Porque está más sano.
Vale. 6 plantas.
Sí,
Okay.
ajá. 6 plantas para que pueda eliminar esa enfermedad, ¿ya?
Okay.
You have to drink it every day except Sunday.
Okay. Sí.
A veces los doctores no pueden esas cosas, ¿no? Pero las plantas pueden.
Cheers.
Ah. I'm so curious now.
I'm a bit scared.
Yeah.
Ane maya tai bu mai ote maya tai bu.
Filme tout. En fait, filme tout. Pardon, excuse-moi. Je vais pas faire un gros plan de bon ça, donc c'est Léa. Au revoir Léa, fais une bonne nuit.
Ramakanya abana Ramapeya akraya bana No ekadeya boya kaya kabaike Yo kaya kabaike Santo sama boda bokatai.
I mean, like, waiting to be like, what about
Take it, bye. Take it, bye.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy birthday.
Oh, Remember?
We're gonna miss breakfast though if we don't.
Okay, let's go. Oh my god, it was so crazy.
It was crazy, huh?
Yeah, it like taught me the biggest lesson in my life.
What? Really?
Yeah.
What lesson?
It taught me that like at the edge of the edge of the edge of the edge of like the most drug thing you can do, I have no idea of like why we're here, like what we're doing, like what I'm supposed to do, and then I just felt like a kid. Also, I definitely talked to something.
Really?
Oh, for sure. Like really 100%. I was talking to her, which was super crazy.
To whom?
To Mother Ayahuasca.
Me too. I was saying.
Right?
Yes, I was trying to be very respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have vision?
That's right. I felt in control.
No,
last night.
I didn't have visions.
Like,
I was just
not
thinking about.
Trying to be in
Well, the
control,
beginning
but
is very
much
confused to me.
aware
Like
of
I'm
what was
like
happening.
can't really remember the beginning as much. It was,
thought
I mean,
I
it was
was
the
gonna lose
strongest
that
part, but it was like
awareness, but
I was really like.
I felt like the most myself that I've ever
Yeah, I don't know. I was just
felt.
kind of trying to like get a hold on what was going
It
on.
wasn't like that. Okay. Probably miss your family. I miss them too, dude. It's like it's hard. We're like we're so far. Like in all senses of the term, you know. Oh. I think like give it some time. I will always be there for you. Like in a real way. Like whatever you do and like whatever happens to you and like
Un poquito más.
Ahí.
Está bien.
But it's gonna be fine, right?
I'm waiting for you right here when you're alone.
Nó có mơ vào, nó có mơ vào, tiki với ta này, ta mà ca nô yong vano, ca nô yong panadam, nó có mơ qua bom drama kuji anyoma.
I like saw Mother Ayahuasca for the first time, and it was like really overwhelming and like really, really beautiful. And I was like flattened on the mat, like in so much awe, and like just felt so crazy and amazing and felt like faith restored pretty like directly and immediately.
Okay, we have to let it dry on us. There's a part of me, actually, that when I'm in ceremony, I'm convinced, like, it's real, like, as real as the physical world, just something we can't tap into. You know what I mean? Like, that you know, you see Mother Ayahuasca in a vision, but the jump of, like, she's actually there. Like, it's not just a metaphor, you know, that your brain is conjuring up. Like, I don't know, what do you think of this?
for me, what I've come to for myself is that it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter if they're real or not. What matters is the results.
Yeah.
And the results are real.
The shamans are taking their awareness and their consciousness down to the molecular level with their Icaros. They're working on the level of the DNA.
Like that's a great theory, and I'm not rejecting it, but there's just like there's no case.
Right.
You know, that just shows that that has happened. If I go back and I don't smoke, and I do the treatments that I already have that exist, that already to me is a complete game changer.
A la derecha, a la izquierda, dando vueltas, es una fiesta, alabando, saltando, es una fiesta,
I always wanted to have like
During the last ceremony, I heard Leia crying in a way I had never heard before. I fought myself out of my own vision, and I softly yelled across the room, "I love you, Leia." I just didn't hear an answer. I collapsed onto my mat and considered just retreating back into the inside of my head, but I was so certain she had to hear me. So I got up again. "I love you, Leia." And then I heard, "I love you too."
Je rapproche, j'ai pas trop droit.
Tu prends beaucoup de
There's like a picture of myself called Dying Young. I can reach up here.
Le ciel qui tombe sur la tête, lié directement avec l'espérance de vie.
Sick and smoking. You like to feel that, don't you?
I mean, yeah, no, I just wanted it to be different, you know, than like what it was. I was like, I just don't want to be there, but it's so funny because I knew I was learning.
The question I'd asked was like, why am I here? And I really think like I'm here to help you. Like I really, really think so.
That's so funny.
I really is like, oh, like, and so I wanted to tell you, like,
oh my God.
basically like that that like you can chill. You can relax. that it's like I'm gonna really try and take care of you. What were you thinking about?
The sickness.
The sickness?
Mhm.
In what way?
Just like it's funny because the first night I was like, oh, I feel so normal, you know? Like I just feel normal, like everything's fine, and like why the fuck am I worrying? And then the second night I was like, I'm not normal, you know? And just like there's like a lot of the of the like it just brought back like a lot of like childhood feelings, you know, like feeling this way. I don't know. Like just like feeling like different, you know, and like I just realized that it was hard. And so that like whatever this is gonna do and like that it's gonna help or not, like I don't know, but it's just like something I'm gonna have to like deal with forever. And I do think like the reason that I don't do like the treatments well and like it's just because I like don't. It's just like it reminds me, you know. I just didn't know.
No.
There wasn't a lot of time to deal with what had happened. We were in a kind of shock, beginning to process this huge download we had just received, but somehow we also had to get across Peru and into Chile to meet a friend in the Atacama Desert, the driest place in the world.
What did this make you think about your illness?
I actually think that the sickness is not something that I'm meant to get rid of. I think the reason that like during ayahuasca, like I didn't try and go and change it is because it just really to me feels like something that I need to work with.
Do you feel like there is a problem though, or there was one when we started this?
Definitely. I mean, I feel like the problem was that like I didn't acknowledge that it existed. It's something that I need to work on. It's like something I need to take care of. Like I need to take care of myself. I need to take care of my body, like treat it with respect, with care, and be thankful. Like that's enough for now.
How long are you gonna let this thing bite you for?
Till he decides it's full and fly away. I don't know how long it will take, but I want him to feel happy And to fly like freely. Oh, I'm full finally.
C'est parfait, mais si tu respires tout à fait doucement, c'est aussi bien. Donc, confort. Ce matériel, maintenant on en a acheté 5 pour avoir la...
Ah oui. La seule chose à retenir pour maman, c'est que si c'est au-dessus de 100, c'est bien. Maman, elle est contente.
She still had cystic fibrosis, but she was fine. No bacteria and an above average lung capacity. Maybe even better than mine. They say that the real ceremony begins when you leave ayahuasca. You come back to your life and everything is actually exactly the same. You are just different. And I was different. There was no way I was staying in Los Angeles. Things change when you realize that under the right circumstances, you can talk to a plant. Leia is also different. She hasn't lost her phone yet. She's been in love with one guy, and she does her breathing treatments. And even though she doesn't smoke anymore, every once in a while, she steals a drag of my cigarette.